Good morning, students. Welcome to your economics class with your economics teacher Lakshmi Vyas. Here we are going to start a new chapter which is correlation. Yes, it is the statistical part of class 12 chapter. In this video, we will discuss half of this chapter because it's part 1 and we'll complete this chapter in our next video. So let's start. First of all, let us see what we will discuss in this video, which includes area of discussion. We'll start our discussion with meaning of correlation and then what is the significance of it. After this, we will go toward the types, various types of correlation, various degrees of correlation. After completion of these theory portions, we will move toward the measurement, which is the numerical part of the chapter. We can measure correlation with the help of 3 different methods which is there in your syllabus. In this video, we will discuss only first measure, which is scatter diagram. Remaining 2 measures will be discussed in our next video, which is Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient and Spearman's rank coefficient of correlation. So, without wasting time, let's start our discussion. Meaning of correlation. What is correlation? Correlation. The second part of the word correlation is relation. Yes, in our real life, we come across various situations in which 2 variables are interrelated, so that change in the value of one variable may result in the change in the value of other variable. For example, we may have data relating to various prices of a commodities and the quantity demanded at these price. We observe different variations in, suppose when the price of a commodity is increasing, over the time we see that its demand is decreasing. So we can conclude that there is some relationship between price and demand. Similarly, we may observe that data of heights and weights of a group of people are likely to show some relationship between the heights and weight of a person. Like we can observe that increase in the height of a person, the weight may also increase. For example, taller the person may be heavier than the shorter person. So we observe that the volume of sale of a cold drink depends upon the expenditure incurred on advertisement. So in this way, we can see that there are so many relationships in various kinds of data. In order to understand the relationship between 2 or more variable, we take the help of statistical technique, which is called correlation technique. Yes, the term correlation indicates the relationship between 2 or more variables of a series, so that changes in the value of one variable are associated with the changes in the value of other variables. If we want to go toward the definition, so in the words of Connor, we can say that if 2 or more quantities vary in sympathy, so that movements in the one tends to accompanied by corresponding movements in the others, then they are said to be correlated. The 2 variables are said to be correlated if a relationship exists between the 2 variables, so that movement in the one variable is accompanied by corresponding movement in the other. So this is the basic meaning of correlation. Now comes the question in mind that what is the significance of this correlation? So let's discuss that too. The study of correlation is of great significance in our practical life as well. And this is because of the given reasons here. The very first reason is the study of correlations enables us to know the nature, direction, and degree of relationship between different variables. Like what is the nature? What is the direction? Like one is increasing and other is decreasing, or when one is increasing and other is also increasing. That kind of relation is called degree and direction. How strong the relation is, that also we can get to know with the help of correlation. The second point says that this correlation analysis helps us in understanding the behavior of some economic event. Like as we said that we can identify which factor is affecting the change in demand for any commodity. Like if the price or if the income is changing, then whether the demand is being affected or not, we can understand with the help of that. So in that way, we can understand which factor is affecting the change in any particular variable. The third point is the study of correlation helps us to estimate the likely change in the value of one variable as a result of change in the value of related variable. So this is done with the help of regression analysis. We'll do that later. The last point given over here is correlation facilitates decision making in the business world. Yes, this is the most important significance of correlation because it reduces the element of uncertainty in the decision making and helps in making the predictions more reliable in business world. By knowing the relationship between two variables, their degree, their direction, and the nature, we can understand and we can predict our movement in the business world and take the decisions very easily. So this is most important significance of correlation. So after this, we can move toward our third part of the area of discussion, which is types of correlation. Yes, correlation can be classified into various categories. That depends upon the basis. Yes, on the basis of what we want the discussion of the types, we can see that correlation types on the basis of direction of change. The first basis of classification is direction of change in the value of two variables. On the basis of direction, correlation can be of two types. The first is positive and the second is negative. Positive correlation means when two variables move in the same direction. Like if height is increasing, weight will also increase. If income is increasing, expenditure is also increase. So that is called positive correlation. One is increasing, another is also increasing. Or one is decreasing, another will also decrease. On the other hand, negative correlation means when the values of two variables move in opposite direction. For example, when speed will increase, time will decrease. Okay, so this is called inverse relation. When income will increase, demand for inferior good will decrease. So one variable is increasing and as a result another variable is decreasing, then we can say that the two variables are having negative correlation. The direction of movement among the two is opposite. Then we say that there is negative correlation. Now, the second basis, on the basis of ratio of variation in the variable. On the basis of ratio of variation, correlation can be of again two types. First is linear, another is non-linear. Linear correlation, when the ratio of change in the values of two variables is constant. Yes, you heard right, children, constant, then the correlation is said to be linear. Like for example, if with 10% increase in income, expenditure increases by 8% every time, there is a linear relationship between income and expenditure. If these variables are plotted on a graph paper, all the points would lie on a straight line. On the other hand, this can be non-linear correlation when ratio of variation in the values of one variable changes. The correlation is said to be non-linear. The ratio of variation in the values of the two variables keeps on changing. That ratio is not constant. So it is called non-linear. For example, if with a 10% increase in income, expenditure increases by 8% in one situation and 7% in another situation, then we say that there is non-linear relationship between two variables. In this situation, if the value of the two variables are plotted graphically, these points will not lie on a straight line. A non-linear curve will be there. Okay, so we can say that non-linear correlation is also known as curvilinear. Moving toward the third basis of discussion, which is number of variables. Yes, till now we have discussed about two variables. There can be more than two variables as well. So on the basis of number of variables, correlation can be of three types. First, simple correlation. When only two variables are involved, we speak of simple correlation. So in simple correlation, we study the relationship between two variables only, like price and demand, income and expenditure, speed and time. What about multiple correlation? When more than two variables are involved, we speak of multiple correlation. Therefore, In multiple correlation, we study together the relationship among three or more than three variables. For example, we may study simultaneously the relationship between the yield of wheat per acre, the amount of rainfall, and the amount of fertilizers used. So these three variables are related because the quantity of wheat to be produced, the amount of rainfall is required, and the amount of fertilizers required are interrelated. So this kind of correlation is called multiple correlation. The third one is partial correlation. Partial correlation means we recognize that more than two variables are involved, but the correlation is studied only between the two variables and other variables are assumed to be constant. I repeat, in partial correlation, we see that more than two variables are involved, but the correlation is calculated or studied only between the two variables and the other variables are assumed to be constant. For example, in the previous example only, we can see that the relationship between the amount of fertilizer and the yield of wheat per acre by assuming the rainfall is normal. So when we assume one or two or more than one variable to be constant and just study the relationship between only two variable out of or among all, then that is called partial correlation. But don't worry children, in our syllabus we have only simple correlation, so you will not have to study multiple correlation or partial correlation. Only simple correlation is there. So we will do all the numericals using two variables. More than two variables are not in your syllabus. So this was the types of correlation to be understood. This is only for short question. No long questions will come from this portion. Usually it does not come, but let's see what happens. The next part, which is very important for the numerical as well as for the theory portion, which is degree of correlation. Yes, degree of correlation. Since correlation analysis is a mathematical tool which is used to explain the degree to which one variable is related to other variable, we must know that what it is actually measuring. It measures the strength of relationship between two variables. So the basic tool of correlation analysis is correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient shows the degree of closeness of the relationship between two variables in quantitative terms. The degree of correlation can be expressed in different ways. The first one is perfect correlation. If the relationship between two variables is such that the value of two variables change in the same proportion, correlation between them is said to be perfect. Change can be increase or decrease. Perfect correlation can be positive or negative. When the equal proportionate change in the values of the two variables are in the same direction, they are perfect positive correlation. Like if they increase in income by 10%, the household expenditure also increases by 10% or decreases with decrease, then that is called perfect positive correlation between income and expenditure. And in such situation, the correlation coefficient is +1. On the other hand, correlation can be perfectly negative when the same proportionate change in the values of two variables moves in the opposite direction. And in such case, the correlation coefficient will be -1. For example, fall in price of a commodity by 5% leads to increase in the demand by 5%. So the percentage value, the proportionate change is exactly equal, but the direction is opposite. So that is called perfectly negative correlation. After the perfect case comes the opposite end, which is called absence of correlation. If there is no relationship between two variables, we say that there is no correlation. They are uncorrelated. And in such case, a change in the value of one variable has no particular effect on the change of other. And in this situation, the value of R, which is the correlation coefficient, is equal to 0. After these two cases, there comes the medium cases, where we can have moderate value, we can have high values, or we can have low values. Okay, so that can also be discussed as limited degree of correlation. In real life, economic data do not indicate perfect correlation. be it positive or negative. At the same time, the case of absence of correlation of economic data are indeed very limited. However, in practice, we normally find some limited degree of correlation between economic variables. We normally get values of R which lie between +1 and -1, such as 0.8, -0.3, etc. Accordingly, we may refer to high, moderate and low degree of correlation. Here in the table also you can see, children, that when correlation coefficient is close to 1 can be +1 or -1, then it is called high degree of correlation. On the other hand, when the coefficient is close to 0, it is called low degree of correlation. And when the two series is neither high nor low, it is called moderate degree of correlation. Close to 1 means plus 0.75 to 1, or in case of minus also minus 0.75 to 1. Low is 0 to 0.25, be it positive or negative. But if it is lying between 0.25 to 0.75, it is called moderate. So this is degree of correlation. Whenever you do a numerical also, children, always remember that whatever your answer is coming, you must write what is the degree of correlation. For example, if you do a numerical and you are getting an answer as plus 0.8, you must write that the two variables are positively highly correlated. If it is minus 0.282, you must write that it is negatively highly correlated. Whatever your answer is, in whichever range it is falling, you must write that this is the degree of correlation of this particular numerical. Okay, because sometime in the numerical portion there is some extra marks allotted specifically for writing the degree, and after doing the entire numerical, if you miss that, your some marks can be deducted. Or simply, in order to write it completely, you must always write that after doing the numerical, that what is the degree of correlation between the two variables. Moving to the last part of discussion, which is measures of correlation. In correlation analysis, we would like to measure the extent to which two variables are related. In other words, we can say that correlation analysis measures the degree of association of the two variables, and there are various methods of estimating the correlation between two variables. Some of the important methods are given over here. Number 1, scatter diagram. Number 2, Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. And number 3, Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Out of these three methods, the first method is a diagrammatic method of studying the correlation, whereas the other two are mathematical methods of measuring correlation. So, as I already said, in today's video, we will discuss the first method. In our next video, we will discuss the remaining two with the help of numerical examples of various types, so that there will be no doubt to understand this particular portion. Moving toward the simplest method, which is scatter diagram. Yes, it is the simplest method of studying the relationship between two variables, which is called scatter diagram, or another name is dot diagram. See, you can see that so many dots are drawn over here. It is a graphical expression of degree of correlation as well as the direction of correlation. What we do here? In this method, the given data are plotted on a graph paper in the form of dots. Each dot shows a particular pair of values of two variables, say x and y. To draw a scatter diagram, we take two axis coordinate, plotting the values of one variable, generally independent variable, on the horizontal axis, and the values of vertical variable, other variable, which is the dependent one, on vertical axis. So a particular pair of values of the two variable x and y is shown by a dot. Thus, if x shows marks secured by a student in economics as shown on the horizontal axis, and y shows the marks secured in the subject economy, in the subject English, shown on the vertical axis, then one dot shows the marks secured by this student in these two subjects. So if our series shows marks secured by 10 students in these two subjects, then we plot 10 pair of marks. of the two subjects in the form of 10 dots. Each of 10 dots in the graph represent the marks of a specific student in the two subjects. The whole set of dots or points taken together constitute the scatter diagram. This method of ascertaining correlation is called scatter diagram because it shows the scatter of various dots or points. By looking at the scatter of the various points, we can form an idea of the degree of and the direction of correlation. It is obvious that narrower the band within which various points lie, closer the dots to each other, then the high will be degree of correlation, and more they are scattered, which is means wider the band, the lower is the degree of correlation. In this diagram also, in this graph also, we can see various types of correlation drawn over here. The very first is strong positive correlation or perfect causative correlation, because all the points are lying on a straight line rising from the lower left hand corner to upper right hand corner. In this case, the correlation coefficient is perfect positive, +1, r equal to +1. But in the second one, we can see that there is weak positive correlation. Positive, but it is weak because the points are showing an upward trend from the lower left hand corner to upper right hand corner. Correlation is positive, but they are not on one particular straight line. So there is positive correlation because they are moving upward, but that is not exactly equal to 1. So that is showing a positive correlation, which can be between 0 to +1. The third one is strong negative correlation, where the points are showing a downward trend and lying on the straight line. So the value will be -1 of the correlation coefficient will be -1. In the lower panel, the very first, which is called weak negative correlation, which means there is a downward trend from upper left hand corner to lower right hand corner. Correlation is negative because the values of the variable are moving in opposite direction, but not exactly equal to -1, rather it will be between 0 to -1. Moderate is again the same. The value of correlation is negative, but not perfectly negative. The last one is a different case, because here we can see that the various points on the scatter diagram does not show any kind of particular trend, but are distributed in a random or haphazard manner. Then correlation is said to be 0, and in such case we say that there is no correlation between the two variables. So the value of correlation coefficient in this case is equal to 0. Scatter diagram is very simple and easy to understand kind of a method to be used, but there are some merits and demerits of scatter diagram. The first one, let's discuss with the merits. The very first important merit of scatter diagram is that it is very simple method. Yes, it is simple and non-mathematical method of studying the correlation between the two variables. It is easy to draw because scatter diagram anyone can draw. Number 2 is easily understandable. Yes, it can be easily understood and hence can be easily interpreted. We can have a rough and quick idea of correlation between the two variables merely by at a glance at this diagram. And the third one is it is unaffected by extreme items. It is not affected by the size of the extreme values. Such points stand isolated in the diagram. When we have merits, we have demerits as well. What are the demerits? The very first is rough measure. It gives only a broad and rough idea of the degree and nature of correlation between two variables. It does not give any quantitative measurement of the relationship between the variables. So, it is only a qualitative method of showing the relationship between two variables. The second demerit is not a precise measure. Yes, children, a scatter diagram does not give exact and precise measurement of this correlation, as it does not undertake any mathematical treatment of the concept of correlation. We just can say that it is between 0 to 1 or more than 1 or less than 1, more than 0, but between a moderate one or a just approximate, we can say that, we cannot give the exact value. Okay, positive, negative, strong, moderate, that only we can say. So precise measurement we cannot get over here. And the third one is unsuitable for large observation. Yes, this is very difficult thing, because if we have large number of observation, very large, then it is very very difficult to draw a scatter diagram. It is a tedious and time consuming method in such situation, so it is not suitable for large observation. In this way we can see that there are merits as well as demerits of this method as well, but at the same time we can say that it is the simplest method for doing the relationship between two variables. This was it for today. We will continue this chapter in our next video and we'll complete that with numericals in the second part. Till then, complete your assignments, prepare yourself for the coming examinations. If you have any doubt, you can mail me or you can clear your doubts in your live sessions. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much.